All right, let's dive right into the gritty world of Queen's Reckoning. We're about to unpack a pretty intense story about betrayal, vengeance, and that razor-thin line between salvation and sin out on the streets of New York.
And we start, boom, right in the eye of the storm. You can just feel the raw grief and fury coming from our protagonist, Detective Roman Chase. I mean, this guy is absolutely haunted by the murder of his partner, Ashton Mayer. He's not just looking for justice, he's on the hunt for payback for a friend whose name got completely dragged through the mud.
So this, right here, this is the one question that just fuels everything in the story, every move, every confrontation. And it's not just pointing to a killer, it's pointing to a rat, someone hiding inside the police department itself. It's a mystery we're about to piece together, one shocking clue at a time.
Now, to really get the war Roman is waging, we got to go back to the very first shot fired, the murder that just completely shattered his world and put him on a collision course with a very powerful and very hidden enemy. And you can see from this timeline, this is anything but a standard investigation. A year before he dies, Ashton starts acting off, jumpy, distant. 4 months ago, he's taken out during a solo op. Then, the media just smears him, calling him a dirty cop. And with the official investigation going nowhere, Roman realizes he is totally on his own. His vow becomes simple: clear Ashton's name and find the leak in his own precinct.
So, who is this guy at the heart of the storm? Well, Roman Chase is way more complicated than just a badge and some muscle. This isn't just a story about a cop. It's about a man fighting a war on two fronts, one on the streets and another one right inside his own head. On the surface, Roman is that classic hard-boiled detective, right? A 6'3" bodybuilder, a lone wolf who kind of treats relationships like they're disposable. But this story peels all that back. If you look at the column on the right, you see there are these deep fractures under the armor. He's haunted by a failed marriage, he's terrified of losing his son Tyson, and honestly, he's drowning in this really profound loneliness. It's a very modern take on that old-school hero.
And then, Maggie walks into all this chaos. She owns a coffee shop near the precinct, and she kind of becomes his sanctuary. She's deeply spiritual, a really calming presence. But there's also this immediate, powerful physical attraction. It's a connection that could save him, but it's complicated by this forbidden chemistry that's testing her faith and his own resolve.
So, who is the enemy Roman is hunting? We're not talking about some corner drug dealer here. We're talking about a sophisticated, ruthless, and deeply entrenched criminal organization with a ghost running the whole show. Pablo Peza's syndicate is a real beast. It's basically built with the DNA of those ruthless Colombian cartels like Medellin, but it's also adapted. It uses that fractured, decentralized cell structure you see in groups like Los Rastrojos. And that hybrid model makes it incredibly tough and incredibly deadly on the streets of Queens.
So let's break down how their operation is structured. At the very top, you've got the invisible overlord, Pablo Peza. They call him the Phantom. Right below him is an inner circle of lieutenants, guys like his brother Peter and the enforcer El Toro Ruiz. Then you've got your mid-tier soldiers and mules, and at the bottom, the street-level dealers. It's a classic pyramid of power, all designed to make the most money with the least amount of risk for the guy at the top.
And the profits? They're absolutely staggering. We're talking an estimated $50 to $80 million a year. Now, to put that in perspective, that's not just money for getaway cars and safe houses. That's enough money to buy politicians, to fund legitimate-looking corporations, and to wield some serious power. This isn't just a gang. This is corporate-level crime.
So how do you hide an empire this big? Well, you hide it in plain sight. Directos Farmaciao is their corporate front, a seemingly legitimate pharmaceutical company that's supposedly developing miracle cures for infants. It's just a cynical, almost perfect cover that launders their money and transports drug precursors. It really shows how, in the modern criminal world, the line between legit business and illegal enterprise is terrifyingly blurry.
An empire like Peza's doesn't just thrive on street smarts. No, its roots run deep, right into the very institutions that are supposed to be stopping it. And this is where the conspiracy gets so much bigger, revealing a rot that goes straight to the core of the city's power structure.
And Peza's payroll is extensive. You've got Mayor Philip Sadaki, who's allegedly funneling city funds into Peza's shell companies. You've got Governor Sheila Ham weakening narcotics units and vetoing bills that could mess with Peza's shipments. And of course, you've got the 222nd Precinct itself, where a leak is feeding intel directly to the syndicate, making sure they're always one step ahead.
So let's drill down on that leak. The evidence all points to one guy, Lieutenant Harlan Brooks. It starts with an old rivalry, where Brooks basically stole credit for a bus to get promoted over Roman. Then, Brooks is the one who personally assigns Ashton to that dangerous solo op. He uses a burner phone to leak Ashton's location to Peza's crew. And finally, he buries the whole investigation in paperwork. It all adds up. The man who sold out Ashton is Roman's own commanding officer.
And now we get to the final act, where all these different threads, the personal, the professional, the political, they all collide in one absolutely shocking revelation that just changes everything for Roman.
At first, Peter Peza is just an annoyance to Roman. He's Maggie's charming, successful, adopted brother, a brilliant scientist over at Directos Pharmacia. Roman's suspicion is really just jealousy at first, you know? It's a gut reaction to how close Maggie is with this guy.
Then Roman overhears a call between Maggie and Peter, and it's such an innocent request, but there's an intimacy to it. That weirdly specific detail about the bubblegum, and combined with that smooth, familiar voice, it sets off every single one of Roman's cop instincts. Something just feels wrong.
And that's when it clicks. It's like a lightning bolt. Roman flashes back to a distorted wiretap recording he's listened to 100 times, a recording from the night his partner was murdered. The same cadence, the same inflection. The voice on that wire threatening Lieutenant Brooks is the same voice asking for Rice Krispie treats.
And there it is, the story's major turning point. The charming, supportive brother and the cold-blooded killer who set up his partner's murder are the exact same person. Peter Peza isn't just Maggie's brother, he's a key lieutenant in Pablo Peza's syndicate.
This leaves Roman standing on a knife's edge. The one person who offers him any kind of peace is deeply, though she doesn't know it, connected to the man he's sworn to destroy. So pursuing justice means shattering her world and losing his only sanctuary. It's an impossible choice. And the question is, what will a man like Roman sacrifice to get his revenge?